Alright guys, I think this will be a lot easier. This is actually the first video that I've made through OBS, so we'll see how this goes. Kind of wanted to have a video set up going from the installation to just getting, I guess, comfortable inside of GSPro, as well as adding courses. We'll see how this goes. So you'll start first in the SGT website. Up here at the top, just hit Getting Started. And once you're in here, scroll down. I mean, if you've already gotten your login and everything registered and through Facebook, through Discord, you don't have to do any of that. We'll just be talking about the installation part today. So here's the installer. Brings you to the installation page. Just hit download now. And usually if you have, Windows and Edge, bottom left it'll show up. So you can just open it from down there. What I usually do is take these setup files and drag them to the desktop. That way they're not working inside the zip folder. So once you're in your desktop, you want to go to GSP setup. It'll pop open this little message here. Hit next. For now, I'm going to install it into my C drive. I usually click on everyone as well. Next. Close. And you can go into your C drive here. You'll see that there's a folder called GSP. Click on that. And then right now there's only a core folder and then your launcher and all these other DLL files. The only one you really need to worry about is the launcher for now. Then we'll add courses in there after we get it installed. So when you run the launcher, you hit run here. It's going to download the latest version that's out there for both the Connect side as well as the game side. So this first download, sometimes it takes quite a while on this first download. I have pretty fast internet, so it's kind of going pretty quick for me, but depending on your internet, that first download could be quite a long time. Then it's going to pop open two boxes. This one's your Connect box. This is the one that you will get my GSP login that I usually PM through Discord. That's where you'll put these credentials. And then this will be the game side. Now that we have the game side installed, you'll see it has a temp folder. Plus we'll go into core, GSP, and then here's where we're going to add the courses. So right now there's just nothing in courses. What I recommend you do, go into this courses or the GSP folder, core GSP folder, right click and go pin to quick access. That will put a little courses deal over here, and it'll make it when you add courses, you can just drag them into that location. So I'll go back here. Again, it's just in core GSP, and then right click, pin to quick access. Alright, so now we need to get some courses. Go back out to SGT, courses, and for right now, in 7 days, we're going to be moving to this GSP enhanced courses. These will be what you guys download when we move to the new GSPro. But for now, for this video, it's going to be the same process. It's just going to be a whatever course folder you're downloading, or course file you're downloading. So we'll just do a normal course for now. Let's just get, I don't know, a Sciota. There we go. Hit the download button. Download again. For some reason, Mega always starts out really slow when it's downloading, but then it picks up speed pretty quick. So same thing, if you have Edge, it'll pop open on the bottom left. Hit open file. So here's where it gets pretty easy. So we're basically sitting inside the zip folder right now. All you got to do is click on it and drag the whole folder into whatever that course's quick access that you did. And then it shows up in there. This is how your courses folder needs to look. If I click over to my other one here, so this is my GSPro Online. So this is how you start adding a whole bunch of courses. This is what it's going to look like. And if you go into each one, all the files for that course are buried within the folder. You don't want any zip files in this folder. So you don't want to get into, show you here. If you don't know your downloads here, if you go into your downloads, that's where most everyone has their files that they get from the web will automatically come to this folder. So if you forget it, you can always go back and grab it from your downloads. But we cannot do this. So if you see this as a zip file, you cannot drag that into the courses. You do that, it'll break the game. So any of the folders that have a little zipper on there, you cannot have those within your courses folder. So now that we got it installed, we got a course. What I usually do, go out here, right click, create a shortcut. I take that shortcut, I name it whatever, GSP, we'll say standard, since that's what we're working with today. GSC standard, and I move that out to my desktop. Alright, so I'm not going to log in here, but get the idea. When you get to this little window, so when you're setting the resolution for your game, it's going to be dependent on what monitor or projector you're going to be playing on. So a lot of times people are running 2 and 3, 4 maybe TVs or projectors. So you just got to figure out which one. He does a good job here with saying left, middle, right. What that's corresponding to is in here. Left, middle, right. If you get 4, it kind of gets dicey, but you can see my number 2 monitor is a 4K monitor, so that's why it's a lot bigger than these other two. These are 19 by 12, 1900 by 1200. So I usually run all my games over here on my left monitor, and you can see the resolution right there. It's 3840 by 2160. That's a 4K resolution. So what you want to do when you come in here, make the game run the same resolution as that monitor. So I'm going to run it 3840 by 2160, and it's my left display. I think if I hit the right. Sometimes if you hit these other monitors, it'll like only show what resolutions are allowed on there, but I think I've unlocked my other 2 monitors to allow any resolution. So that might be why it's sticking it to the 4K. The graphics. So for regular, well, I guess when we go to GSPro Enhanced, to run, if you're running that 1080p resolution, you want pretty much a 1070 or above, a GTX 1070 or above to run fantastic. If you have anything lower than that, in my opinion, it's just better to drop back to a beautiful. Now, if you are still having frames issues where the graphics will be really choppy when the ball's in flight, you can knock this back, to good or simple. I wouldn't ever really go to fastest or fast. It just doesn't look good. The trees have no detail at all. I run it in fantastic. I have a 1080 Ti in this machine here. It run, I get pretty good frames per second, even at 4K with this card. If you're running a 4K machine with a 4K projector, I would say the lowest you can really go is this 1080 Ti that I have here. A better recommendation would be the 3000 series, the 3070, RTX 3070 or better. That's going to allow you to run fantastic on 4K, and you'll push north of 60 frames, which is usually the cap for most projectors. So that's kind of the what we want to get to is what can you get where you're running a stable 60 frames per second feed, and a 3070 or better for a 4K, and a 1070 or better, GTX 1070 or better for 1080p. All right, I'm actually going to run this in the 19 by 1200 here. I accidentally, when I clicked the 4K, it went over on my other monitor, and I wasn't recording that one. So we're going into the second, my display 2 here, which would be my middle monitor. So I set my resolution accordingly. All right, so you'll notice I've already got some players in here. It's pulling from my normal settings file that I already created when I had this other version of the game. But just for video purposes, right when it loads in, I always go to settings, and I add my players. So once you do this once, obviously you don't have to do it again. But if I'm showing somebody how to install GSPro, I always go to settings, add their player in here. The UID will be the same UID that you logged in with for SGT, and I think I had to have Steam in front of that. You don't need the Steam when you're in GSPro here. The name has to be the name that you use on SGT. That's very key. You can set your handedness, your preferred T. Those don't really matter. Over here in game, your course folder, that should be blank. You don't want anything in there. If there's something in there, select in it and hit the space bar, and then hit save close, and you should be good. This is another cool little thing, clear course cache or reload courses. Anytime you download a new course, you can come in there and hit the reload courses rather than closing out of the game. That's just a lot easier. You used to have to, every time you had a course, you had to close out of the game and then reopen it, and then it would recognize your new courses. You don't have to do that anymore. You can go right in here to reload courses. So we'll try that now. Let's go over here. So we're going to go out and download a new course. So you come out here to SGT, you're on courses. And right now, we may only have one course file, but for now we have an enhanced section and a regular section. Since we're working in the enhanced version of the game, I'll grab a enhanced course. You can go to download here. We'll do farm links. Sometimes Mega will take a little while to download as well. You just kind of gotta, some different parts of the day it'll download faster. So once the bottom left, it'll come open. If you're running on Microsoft Edge, it always is on the bottom left. Hit open file, and then right up here you can hit you click and you drag into your courses folder. Alright, now that we got our course in our courses folder, you'll see it here. I actually still have the game open. So if you want, once you have the course in there, flip back over to the game and hit reload courses. It will grab any of the latest courses and populate those back in. You can hit the clear course cache. That's always a good idea to do. Just hit clear course cache and reload courses. And then you can hit this save close. Alright, to go into a little bit of the practice stuff. If you want you hit the practice tab, you can either go driving range or on course practice. I'll show you the driving range right now. Then we'll back out and go into the on course practice. If you just hit the driving range, it'll load in here. And over here you got, on the left side, you got all your tabs, for all of your data metrics. And then, so you can, these are all interchangeable. So if you don't want spin axis there, you can bring in, there you go. Bring that in. You don't want descent angle or care about that. You can bring in any other spin axis. All those get saved. You can either have them in metric or imperial. When I'm in practice here, I don't ever use the data tab or anything like that, just because it's already in game. It's already on the left side. And then I never really use the mini map either. But yeah, and then you just hit shot after shot. Fire went off here. It's a pretty cool range though. I think Stingray put this one together. And it has the waterfalls. And it's pretty cool. That's pretty much it for the driving range. Like I said, it just keeps resetting you back here to hit shot after shot. Shows all your metrics over here on the left side. So we'll go back and look at the on. Alright, I wanted to show you some on-course practice on Sciota. It doesn't really matter what settings you set at the bottom. Stimp might matter how much it rolls out. Fairway firmness and green firmness will probably matter. Alright, so got in here. For my monitor, this course loads a little dark. I like to brighten this one up. This is an excellent course made. I think DP Roberts put this one together, and this is one of the best ones actually. I really enjoy this one. I always push the sky on this course pretty much all the way out. I think they call the panoramic view that we use on this one just a little bit dark, so I always push that out on this course. To me, saturation, I like to again run it where it's not really blowing the greens out, too far. I'm not a huge fan of the vivid, but this environment color is the main one that I really dial that in. I like to have the shadows you can barely see a little bit of the detail. So I like to darken up those shadows in the trees. That's, in my opinion, that's what makes the realism. Looks like a real court. This is a very well done one. So once I get the lighting set, then you can jump around on holes by clicking on this little green up here. If you want to play hole 2, 3. Again, we're not really playing. You'll just hit a shot from wherever you mark. So pull out this mini map. So say on this hole we wanted to play one from the fairway. Dial in that shot from fairway. If you hit the little ball on the top left, your icon turns to a little ball. Come down here, place it right here. And you just hit shot after shot after shot into one green right here. If you want to work on your chipping, hit the little ball again. You can either click out here, let's say we're in the bunker, and we want to hit out of the bunker. Or you can click your mini map. And you can go over here. You can try this little 30-yard shot over and over. You know, if you want to start hitting out of the rough, trying to learn your rough penalties, go over here, hit out of the rough. And then up here, if you go, you can actually, if you had hit a shot, you can replay it using the little play symbol. These other icons, the tree icon, I don't think it does anything actually yet, and I don't think the camera one does anything yet either. But those will definitely have uses as we get things unlocked and finalized. Well, that's about it for on-course practice. Alright, here I'm going to show you guys how to do like a local game. We'll just play one player right now, but I'll kind of show you how to do more than one player. We'll play Sciota. One of the best courses that we've created in the enhanced version so far. That and Scottsdale is another just absolutely gorgeous course. They did a hell of a job on those. So up here, when it comes to, so you choose your course that you want to play. Comes in here, you can, if you're playing just stroke play, you know, pick your players, whoever you want in there. If you're gonna play a scramble, then you can actually do a one-man scramble. I think you can do a one-man scramble. You might have to actually put 4, you know, 2 cook 2 threes and 2 cook the other guy, and then you can play a one-man. But to do a 4-man scramble, you just we'll just do 2 cook 2 threes versus Brian and cook 2 3 admin. You got to make sure you set your colors to the teams. So red versus blue team is 2-man scramble. Set up your pins and all your settings for the round, just like a normal round. That'd be how you set up a scramble. If you want to just do, we'll take these guys off. We'll just do a single round. That way I can kind of just show you. Hit start game. First time you load the course, again, it's going to load slower than all the subsequent loads. It's got to cache a bunch of files from the course onto your computer. So then the next time you open it doesn't have to open those. I've already set my lighting for this course, but just to reiterate, you hit the L button, brings open your lighting panel. Again, I always like to play around 11:30. This course, I got the lighting down pretty good on this one with these settings, but it's going to be dependent on your projector and your setup. Sometimes these settings might look dark to you, so you might have to lighten them up. But this environment color, in my opinion, is pretty much the realism slider. If you blow this out here, this doesn't look real. It doesn't look like you're there. But if you get those shadows, you know, darkened up, it just, in my opinion, it almost looks photorealistic at times. So that's key to dial in, is that environment color. And I like to just, some people like to put it all the way pretty much blacked out. I like to leave a little bit of detail in there, and then just hit save, and the next time you open it'll have them saved in there. I always open my mini map when I'm playing, and then my data tab. You gotta have the data tab so I can see how bad the side spin really is. So then we kind of mess with my. I used to have side spin in here. I don't know where that went. These tiles are all interchangeable as well. Put them on Imperial. So then we'll just play the first hole here and see how we go. I have the luxury of using a calibration tool to hit shots, so I don't have to be out in my sim. So if you aim on your mini map, so you'll see the little pink aim here and then hit F3, you'll zoom into that spot. Hit F3 again, it'll go to the green, back. Kind of gives you an idea of where you're going to be landing. You know, sometimes, some courses the mini maps won't show all of the trees, so it's actually a good idea to kind of click on, you know, I could be on the right side of the fairway here, click, and all of a sudden I see, holy cow, there's a lot of trees just off the fairway. Well, you might not want to aim that close to the side there then. So we'll just go down here, we'll bust one. 180 ball speed. That's about the only time I see that number. We're getting way down here. Again, look at just the little mow lines in the rough, the little cart lines. You can kind of see them around here. I mean, that's just all. It's all done at the designer level, and the guy who designs this is definitely one of the best. We'll go over here. We'll just hit something in the rough, kind of see the 3D grass in action. So there's the rough. If you ever want to see your scorecard, in this top tab, pop that out. It'll show you the stats. You know, 352 yard long drive, 1 fairway hit. Yeah, that's all in that little button right here. Say we get into a situation where we have to do a sim drop. So say that we were in a whole bunch of trees right here, like just mass amount of trees, can't see anything. You can hit this sim drop, or this little ball button, and you'll hit sim drop. That will open up a big, basically a red circle where you can't drop anywhere in that red circle. So if you hit this minus sign down here and zoom out, you can see where you can drop the ball. You're pretty much always going to be able to drop it somewhere in your own fairway if you zoom out enough. So say we were in the trees here and I wanted to, well, let's act like I punched out to here. Sim drop is essentially giving you a free punch out. We had to do this because guys were getting stuck in the trees, and in sim golf, you know, you can't measure how high to hit the ball, or it's really hard to simulate the punch outs from the trees, because sometimes they'll just hit another tree, you're farther in the trees, and sometimes the ball doesn't move at all. If you're in some tree trunk, it just, you can't really emulate that on a sim software. So we allowed this sim drop. Now it comes at a cost, so we're basically giving you the ability to drop out anywhere, but it's a one-stroke penalty. So it'd essentially be like you punched it out to that sim drop spot. So here, if we were in the trees, we would punch out to the fairway and then hit accept. Now you're hitting, right now I'd be hitting for par right now. because it gave me that 1-stroke penalty. So that's definitely a helpful tool you wanna use if you get really deep into the trees. Rather than try to blast one through there, it's just, trust me, it's a lot better just to take your sim drop and play on from there. And then when you get on the greens, definitely aim your putts. Like if it's, use the blind, brake line indicator. This is a pretty flat putt, but you can kind of see that it, as you go here, it breaks a little bit to the right. So maybe you want to aim a little over here. Always aim your putts. But say this was a big putt, a big right braking putt. Aim the putts. Don't try to aim straight and then just pull it on your hitting mat. That's not going to work, because the most you can be offline is 2 degrees. You need to aim your putts in game. Tap this one in here, or we'll miss it on the left side. And around to the next hole. Shots. We'll go all the way down here. There we go. So we're 70 yards. You can hit this 70-yard shot over and over. Or what I recommend everybody do, everyone's constantly asking me what the penalties. What's the penalties for a bunker? What's the penalties for rough? And so on. Well, a lot easier, because it's going to depend. A lot of these penalties are dependent on your vertical launch angle. So I guess to explain a little bit, so say we're gonna, let me put the ball over here, and now we're just in the rough right now, but say this was deep rough. So the deep rough penalty, it's all dependent on your vertical launch angle. If you hit it really, really high, meaning you hit a wedge out of the deep rough, you're probably only going to have a 10-15% penalty. So if you hit 100 yards, you're going to hit 85 if you hit a wedge. If you try to ram a 3-wood out of deep rough, you could hit a 250-yard carry 3-wood. Well, that thing in game's only going to go maybe 150, 180, around in there, carry. A lot more percentage carry on a low trajectory shot. And that's kind of what we're trying to take out of sim golf, is the unrealistic blasting, bombing drives all over the map, and then just expecting only a 14%, hurt, and it just turned into a math problem. With GSPro, they're using, it's dynamic penalty system is basically what it is, and it's all dependent on how high vertical launch angle of your shot. Because we don't want to really penalize you as much if you're going to be hitting a wedge, getting it back to the fairway or whatever, rather than trying to blast a 3-wood and expecting to hit that thing 200, carry like you can in some other software. So that's the gist of the deep rough. Now, normal rough, in my opinion, it's 5 to 7-ish yards. Not really a lot. That may get tweaked. I don't know. But for now, that's pretty much what it amounts to. Fairway bunkers, in my opinion, it's similar, 5-7 yards. I'm not sure if they have that as dynamic penalty system or not. But from my experience, it's that 5 to 7 yards ish. Unless you're trying to hit a 3-wood, I think it takes a lot of spin off the shot. So greenside bunkers, that definitely depends on how high you hit the ball. If you're trying to play a low shot out of a greenside bunker, you got to hit it a lot harder. And the problem is because it takes off all the spin, and you try to hit that low shot out of the bunker hard, that thing's going to go barreling by the pin. In my opinion, you need to shoot for around 40 degrees launch angle out of a bunker, and it'll play about to what the yardage is So say you're 20 yards from the hole, you wanna probably hit that 35 to 40 launch angle, and it'll play about the 20 yards carry. So that's just kind of some rule of thumb, rough tips there. But where you can really get, if you're a low launch angle guy, come in here to practice, on course practice. Put your ball in various spots and see what you can, see how you play. You got right here, you got a little bunker shot. You can just get in here and practice this over and over. Try to get your yardages down. Right here, with 13 yards? Well, you're going to see that 13 yards. You're going to see 20 yards a lot when you're playing your tour rounds or any round. It's nice to get a gauge on what you're doing, and this on-course practice is perfect. Perfect for that. So we hit this up here. We'll try to go 13 yards. Let's see what this shot does. Nope, not quite far enough. Try this one. That's better. There you go. So, alright, this video is going to be for setting up an online game. Most of the online games will be set up, you'll kind of coordinate them through Discord. And so you know who's playing and what teams are or whatever. There is a chat within online, but I would recommend just using Discord. Jump on a Discord call. Everybody can kind of get in on the same room. So what we do, you hit the online game. Whoever's going to be the host, they will set the room name, the course conditions, all that stuff will be set by the host, which is going to be the first one to create the room. So we'll just do a test here. Room name, test 1, hit join. We have a lot of courses here to choose from. You can pick one. We'll just go down here and pick Scottsdale. Alright, so when you get to this one, you can see the little message. If I type in a little message, everyone that's in the room will be able to see it. Right now, it's just me in there. So I would just set this up. What tees I want to play. 11 stimp. Whatever you want. 6. And then as players come in here, you'll see their names. Right now it says Cook23 red. If I have a local player that I want to add in here, so say it's me and one of my buddies locally, you can get him in there. Say we're playing Scramble. There's Scramble and there's Scramble's match play. Just depends on what scoring you want. We'll just do a regular one. So right now it'd be, say it's going to be me and my buddy versus, we'll change your color up here. Red. The other two players will come in there. They'll set their colors to, blue or whatever color, and you fire it up right from there. And then once you hit start, it'll start the match. And once you get in game, it's going to be, I guess, the same as you guys are used to with the other local play matches. So once you get your room built, I think we use TST1, that's what the other players who are going to come into your room, they're all going to type in TST1, and it should send them straight to this page. You'll see them come in here like Cook23 above the pin. There'll be all the other connected players will show up here. They'll have to pick their own colors, whatever the teams are going to be. And then the host will start game, and then you'll be online in the game. You all load in at the same time.